Hey you, in this video I'm going to share with you something that just might change your mind about reality, your personal reality. And have you ever experienced one of those times in a relationship or something that happens with a friend and you're experiencing something where it like freaks you out, you feel triggered, you're like totally in a panic mode? And let me give you just a hypothetical scenario. You're feeling like your partner is pulling away from you and you're not saying anything or talking to them about it, and they're really distant and it's scaring you. It feels hurtful and you're scared and you're like, did I do something? And you start questioning where things are at in your relationship. You might think to yourself, oh my God, they're going to break up with me. This is I don't know what I'm going to do. And you start to go in sort of a panic. Or you might be creating this thought that they're cheating on you and this is not normal behavior for them and something has to be going on. And you begin to feel all these feelings. I mean, you're going through it. It's your reality. It's fucking real. And you begin to get scared, maybe paranoid, and you might let this go on too long, and finally you decide to talk to your partner about it. And they tell you, babe, I had something happen at work, and I've been worried I'm going to lose my job, and it's been freaking me out a bit because I started thinking, what's going to happen if I lose my job? I have to be able to support my partner. And you come to find out that they were afraid and they were going through something. But what I want you to actually think about is during that time you were experiencing that, you created a reality for yourself. You actually experienced that your partner was going to break up with you. Or you actually experienced that your partner was cheating on you. It felt real. So you experienced losing your partner. This is where I would like to challenge you to think of this idea. This idea that everything that we're experiencing is something that we believe to be true. So our thoughts form our life. Our thoughts create our reality. This is one thing that transformed my life when I began to realize how important my thoughts were and how I could create my own reality. You know, the mystics say, the gurus say that reality itself is an illusion. And I know a big popular thing to talk about right now is how we're in the Matrix and it's a simulation. And it's something to really think about, because you can experience something that isn't taking place. So consider a placebo. You know, they give out sugar pills to people, and if this person truly believes that they're going to be healed, they're healed. If this person believes something negative will happen to them, a possible side effect from this medication, because they're not receiving the real medication, right? They think, they don't know, they know there's a chance. But then they begin to experience the side effects in their physical body. Explain that one. That's how powerful our minds are, and this is how powerful your mind is. Now, I don't talk about this ever, but I think this is the perfect time for me to bring this up. I began to have severe vision problems right after I left my ex-husband in 2014. It was very disruptive. my left eye, my vision was shaking up and down. And the best way I could describe it, if you know what a muscle spasm feels like, it was like my vision was having a muscle spasm. And I'm very much a problem solver, including with my health. I believe that things we intake can impact our health. And I've been through health issues. And so I started to eliminate things out of my diet and really focus on my meditation. But I started to go to eye doctors, and everybody's like, your eyes are perfectly healthy. And I probably saw 10 eye doctors, and they're like, yeah, we don't see anything wrong. And they're looking at me like I'm a crazy person, right? They're like, your eyes are perfectly healthy. This must be psychological. Well, I knew that not to be true myself. So I began to search on the internet what this could possibly be. And it's interesting, I found out it could be related to my brain. So I had to pursue seeing a neuro-ophthalmologist. I had to call the last eye doctor that I went to and said, I need you to refer me to a neuro-ophthalmologist. So this is one thing I want you to think of, just in the fact that not every doctor knows what the fuck they're doing. But long story short, I go to the neuro-ophthalmologist, and I'm a very healthy person that takes care of themselves. At that time, just like now, I was working out 6 to 7 days a week. It's probably in the best shape of my life. And he basically was like, you know, there's people with real problems out there. This is probably nothing. But we'll take a picture of your brain and see what it is, and I'll call you and let you know. But he really kept saying to me, like, you have no problem, girl. You're making this shit up. This man also had to call me a few days later and tell me that they found a brain tumor in my brain. He calls me and expresses an urgency that I need to see neurologist, someone who could do surgery immediately. So I was a little freaked out. I have a brain tumor, and he's expressing the urgency of getting it out. And so living in Alaska at the time, there's not a lot of neurologists that you can go see that do brain surgery. There's a select few, or there was at the time. This is almost 10 years ago. And I go and see him. It took me like 3 or 4 weeks to get in. And he kind of says, well, we can watch this. It's not urgent. So this gentleman was expressing urgency. He said, he explained to me it's not going to burst. That's very unlikely, because that's what this gentleman told me could happen that referred me to him. And because I only had the one symptom, it was really like you weigh this, right? You're like, am I surviving with this symptom? Yes. Is it as annoying as fuck? Yes. Okay. So what about brain surgery? You possibly could die with that. Anyway, we came to the conclusion together that I just would be monitored very closely. So I honestly decided to take it into my own hands, and I began meditating. And what I would do is visualize my brain tumor shrinking. And I would also, after a deep meditation of shrinking this brain tumor, would tell my body, like I would open my right eye, which had perfect vision, and my left eye was shaky. So I would open my right eye and say to my body, this is how my vision needs to be on both sides. What was happening is this tumor was pressing on my third ventricle, and it was causing the vibration of my vision. So I believed it to be true that I could shrink this brain tumor. And my vision kept getting better and better as I was meditating. And let me tell you, before this, I wasn't having much alleviation. It literally, my vision was shaking majority of the day. I would have bouts of about 20 seconds where it wasn't shaking. So as you can imagine, it's like Chinese torture, being waterboarded when one side of your vision is shaking. But back to the point, I began deep meditation, and I have been meditating for a decade at this point and understand the power of it. So I truly believed that it could work. It kept getting less and less. So I imagine as I was meditating and visualizing this shrinking, it was taking pressure off that third ventricle. I believe this to be true. It really doesn't matter to me if anyone else believes it or not. I've been apprehensive to share this with people, but the reason why I'm sharing it is because I just want to reach the people that this can help. Understanding that your mind is very powerful, and it's even powerful enough to heal you. So just to finish out the story, it took me about 2 years. I have had zero vision shaking since, I would say, late 2017. I was following up with the MRIs for a while, and then I decided to quit because I believe that I shrank this brain tumor, and why should I keep going to pay to have it watched? I haven't had an MRI since 2015, maybe early 2016, but it was towards the beginning of all this, maybe 6 months in. I just haven't gone back, and I have zero signs of vision problems. I believe my tumor is gone, and that's all that fucking matters. And I know this is a dramatic version of what I'm trying to explain to you. But Eckart Tolle has a quote that the primary cause of unhappiness is it's never our situation, but our thoughts about the situation. And I just would like you to think about maybe looking into the world or people that you know, and someone who maybe gets diagnosed with some situation that's very positive thinker, healthy person. And this isn't in every situation, but most situations you'll see that if they're very positive people, they overcome it rather easily, right? And one of my favorite quotes of all time is our special Wayne Dyer, if you change your thoughts, you change your life. And it couldn't be more true in my case. I can take you back to another time where I was in this 20-year marriage with a person that just was very self-centered. And I don't want to paint a picture that I was a perfect person. I also was in a growth process. But this person just did not have the ability to share, open himself up, be in a relationship with someone. He was very defensive, stonewalling. He would gaslight. And during this time, I believed, I truly lived in a reality that this is what the world was like. I believed everyone was like him. I also, at the beginning of our marriage, had a very difficult job, a very stressful job. I was managing a travel agency, and customers were constantly yelling at me. I had a customer take his Capri Sun and squirt juice in my face because His ticket price went up when he came in. That's a whole nother aspect. But I believed that the world was a darker place. And then I one day had this moment of revelation, and I had been listening to Deepak Chopra and meditating with him, and I understood that if I wanted any of this to change, it started with me. Not my ex-husband. This was about me. It was about my mindset, where it was, and who I wanted to be. This changed my life forever. I'm getting emotions telling you about it because it was an epic moment for me. From here, what I did is I began to make a list. I made a list. This was at this time, it was a focus of a relationship that I wanted. So I began to understand as I wrote out everything that I wanted in my perfect relationship that right now I wasn't in a place to receive all these things because I was not this person. So then became my journey to become this person. That, I would invite you, is a great place to fucking start if you're struggling in your life right now. Is getting really curious about where you are right now, what you believe in your mind, and where you want to go. And this can transform your fucking life. I want to thank you for coming today. I know I just fucking appreciate you taking the time, and I would love for you to like and subscribe if this video resonated with you. Please leave me any comments about anything you might like to hear in the future, or if you have any questions about what I've said. I know it was a lot in one video, but thanks again for coming. I'll miss you, and I'll see you next time.